I've spent the last 10 years of my career specializing in new construction purchases, and I've even had articles published by the National Association of Realtors on the topic. One thing I've learned is that everything's negotiable, especially new homes. However, over the last few years, supply chain issues coupled with high interest rates have caused builders to massively shift the way they build and sell homes. As a result, the way we have to negotiate with them now is far different than what we were doing just a few years ago. In places like Denver, Colorado, where I'm located, many of the tract builders have completely abandoned their design centers, and some of them have actually eliminated dirt starts completely. They've all determined that it's much more efficient and cost-effective to pre-build standing spec inventory instead. Because of this, the old strategies of negotiating for more money off of lot premiums or asking for additional money in the design center are becoming almost completely irrelevant now. But hey, no need to worry. I'm going to show you my top 8 tips and strategies for timing the market to your advantage and negotiating with builders in today's brand new market. In fact, I personally used this first strategy to buy my own home so low that it gained $297,000 equity in less than 2 years. And the last tip on my list today literally saved one of my recent clients just under $183,000 on a brand new Lennar Superhome. The first tip I'm going to give you is that when a builder opens up a brand new neighborhood, the first few homes in that neighborhood are usually the best deals. One consistent pattern that I've observed is the fact that builders always sell the first 2 to 3 homes in every brand new neighborhood substantially lower than all of the homes that come after them. This is for 2 main reasons. First off, they realize that a lot of people are reluctant to buy one of the first lots released. The first few people that pull the trigger have to endure all the remaining construction in the entire neighborhood. Let's face it, nobody loves construction traffic, equipment noise, or the flat tires from construction debris. This stuff makes a lot of people reluctant to buy one of the first few lots that gets released in a neighborhood. Because of this, the builders often have to sell the first few homes dirt cheap to get things moving in the development. Obviously, you can totally work this strategy to your advantage. If you can put up with the remaining construction, you'll most likely gain a ton of equity really quickly, because once those first few lots are sold, builders almost start implementing routine price increases monthly. In a hot neighborhood, these price hikes can easily be $10,000 to $30,000 per month on every home. I can personally attest to this one. 3 years ago, I purchased the 3rd lot released in a hot new neighborhood just outside of Boulder, Colorado. I saw a builder's sign on a vacant plot advertising a new community was set to break ground in a few months. So I called the number on that sign and I told them to add my name to their early interest list. Once they released the first few lots, I got notified. Sure enough, when I got there, I immediately recognized that that builder was selling the model I wanted for $300,000 less than similar existing homes in the same town. Needless to say, I deposited my money on the spot. I contracted a premium view lot backing to open space for $856,000. I bought it as a spec inventory home, but it was still so early that the builder hadn't even broken ground on any of the lots there, including mine. In less than 2 years after I closed on it, an identical home on the same block sold for $1.154 million. In just 1 year and 10 months, it gained $297,000 in equity. Hey, I already know what you're thinking too. It probably appreciated like that because everything was going crazy during the pandemic. But this happened after the crazy increases in the 2% rates. This equity gain came after the interest rates had already reached almost 8%. It was almost entirely due to the fact that the builder sold me one of those first few lots so far below market value. I use this same strategy with all my clients anytime I can, and I almost always get very similar results. If you can catch a brand new neighborhood early enough, you can do the exact same thing. The second tip today is that the same model home can vary massively between different neighborhoods. I've seen examples of this time and time again in the Colorado market. For instance, I just found 2 examples of Richmond's popular model, the Hemingway, and one was priced $185,000 less than the other one. These 2 homes were located only 18 miles apart from each other, and both of them were in the same Denver suburb of Aurora, Colorado. They even had almost identical commute times to downtown. One was 34 minutes from downtown, and the other was 40 minutes from downtown, so no substantial compromise on their location. This just goes to show that if you have a little bit of flexibility on location, it can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars on the same home. But it really helps to have an agent that's also super familiar with the inventory in each of those builders' neighborhoods, because the commission salesperson in that sales office definitely isn't going to lose a sale by telling you about a cheaper piece of inventory down the street in one of his competing communities. values. That's why it's definitely another instance why having a great agent who's familiar with all the builders' available inventory is a huge asset. My third tip is that concessions such as closing cost allowances, design center allowances, or appliances are often a lot easier to get than a monetary reduction off of the home's price. I've had far better luck getting them to toss things in like fridges, washer dryers, central air conditioning, backyard landscaping, sprinklers, and fences. And this all revolves around the builder's need to preserve appraisal values in every neighborhood. You see, if a builder reduces the price on a home too much, it drags down the appraised value of every home that they're going to try and sell after that. Builders typically like to implement routine price increases, so creating a low comparable sale would play havoc on future price increases that they're trying to do by moving future appraisal values in the wrong direction. This is why builders always prefer to hold as firm on prices as possible and give sales incentives instead of price reductions. It's also why builders won't give buyers without a realtor a lower price than a buyer that comes in with a realtor. Agent commissions paid out by the builder don't reflect on the final sales price recorded in the MLS, but reduced selling prices do. Because maintaining appraisal values in the community is their number one priority, it's far easier to get $20,000 in incentives than it is to get them to take $20,000 off of the price. My fourth tip today is that builders are far more motivated to move homes that have been completed the longest. Builders all get very aggressive about clearing out aging inventory, and this is most likely due to the way their own construction financing is structured. Once that certificate of occupancy is issued, they are charged far higher carrying costs on the home. I've seen it a million times. When that home's complete, they get super anxious to get it cleared off of their books. As a result, they are way more willing to deal on inventory that's been completed the longest. If a builder has two similar inventory homes that would both work for you, your odds of getting a low offer accepted are always going to be a lot higher on the home that they've been sitting on the longest. Builders call these homes quick move-in or QMI inventory. Hey, once again, thanks for watching this far. Hopefully you're getting some useful information here. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to get an additional $3,000 in addition to any incentives that the builder's offering. Aside from the willingness to take a lower price for them, the homes with the ability to close in a shorter time frame, usually 30 to 40 days, are also going to be the homes that usually qualify for the builder's below market financing. The larger nationwide builders have the resources to purchase large blocks of mortgage money, and these are called pre-commitment funds. They usually get them at interest rates that are like 2% below the normal rates available to banks, credit unions, and mortgage brokers. For instance, right now in February of 2024, most of the larger nationwide builders are offering FHA rates between 4.875 and 4.99. However, banks and credit unions, even mortgage brokers right now, are stuck with rates around 6.875 on the same FHA loan, to put that in perspective. So as you can see, the builders have a massive advantage over resale homes right now in this current market. However, there are strict conditions placed on this below market money that the builders have access to. Typically, it can only be lent out on homes that can close in a fairly short time frame, generally 40 days or less. Therefore, the homes that are fully completed or close to completion are often the only ones that qualify for that below market money. Finding a quick move-in home literally can mean the difference of having a 4.99 rate or paying closer to 7%. My sixth tip is going to revolve around fallout homes. Fallout homes are homes that were initially ordered by another buyer who for whatever reason was unable to close. Job losses, divorces, rising interest rates, etc. can all force buyers to abandon their new build before closing and forfeit their deposit money. Because these homes were built for somebody else with somebody else's selections, the builders usually get really aggressive about not allowing them to become age inventory or sit too long. So they often discount them and sell them the second time around at a price that's far lower than what the original buyer paid for them. And when a home falls out, who do you think the salespeople call first? Agents like me who specialize in new construction and constantly bring them business. This is why hiring a realtor who sells lots of new construction in your area is going to give you the best odds of learning about fallout homes before they get put on sites like Zillow for the public to see. So remember, if you're in the Denver market, call me. I'd love to talk new construction. My seventh tip today is to use seasonality to your advantage. That quick move-in inventory that the builders are motivated to move almost always builds up highest midwinter. Inventory homes move slower and they tend to accumulate, whereas for builders during the late fall and winter, especially in the Midwestern states that have a harder winter. This combination of winter weather and the fact that the majority of people don't want to deal with buying a home during the holidays causes this. Additionally, builders have extra motivation to clear out all of the remaining inventory before the end of December for tax and accounting purposes. This means if you got the ability to make your move in the winter, you're more likely to benefit from the best deals of the year. Heavy year-end incentives stacked on top of aging inventory can give you a ton of leverage that you're just not going to match once the brisk spring and summer markets kick off for the builders. My eighth and final tip today is that the last few homes in every neighborhood are usually great deals. Builders get really motivated to close out the last few homes cheap and shut down that sales office. I mean, keeping the lights on and keeping a salesperson in the office costs them money. So builders are highly motivated to sell off the last few homes fast, move their resources, and get on to the next development. This also brings me to the topic of the model homes. Model homes are often among the last few homes sold as well. Hey, and what's great about these models is that they're often ridiculously nice, and they're literally packed with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of designer upgrades and high-end fixtures. Model homes almost always get dumped too, well below their actual value, because the builders are ready to shut down the development and get on quickly. Not to mention, models are often so over-improved for the area that they would never appraise for the value of all their upgrades. At this point, the builder also doesn't care anymore about maintaining comparable values for future appraisals because there aren't going to be any future sales that they have to worry about. So if you get the opportunity to buy one of the last homes in a development or a retired model home especially, jump on it. In case you need more proof of this, here's an example of a closeout deal that I just got from one of my recent clients. I just helped him buy a closeout on the last Lennar Superhome for a discount of $182,900 off of the original list price. The builder had just sold several of that exact same Superhome model in the neighborhood just a couple months earlier for well over $1 million, but my client got it for only $830,000. Best part, it was even on a premium lot directly across from a big park and the community pool. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button to get more of my future content. Hey, I also promised to tell you how to get an additional $3,000 agent contribution from me. All you got to do, if you're here in Colorado, simply hire me as your agent and I'll contribute $3,000 of my commission towards your closing cost, appliances, fences, landscaping, anything you want to use it for, assuming that the builder's lender allows it. Give me a call. I'd love to help you buy a house.